Get ready to rock.
Welcome to our GRTR at 20 podcast series. And now an interview with Jeff Pilson from September 2011, chatting about Dokken and Foreigner. Now, there's been a tremendous amount of recycling of Foreigner back catalogue, as you know, over the years with several compilations. Why did you choose to re-record the classic hits in this way with the new lineup?
Well, it was a part of it was kind of fan, I don't want to say pressure, but fan request. Fans often said, we just love this version of the band. We love how you guys are doing the songs. We'd love to hear it on a record. Now, it's nothing. I mean, let's face it, the original recordings are classics, and it's not taking away anything from that. But I think the fans just wanted to hear this version of the band, and in particular, I mean, with Kelly singing them, they wanted to hear recordings of us doing the songs with, like I say, this version of the band, Kelly singing. So we kind of responded to that, and it just seemed like it was fun to do, and it just kind of happened, very, very naturally.
Because listening to those recordings, I mean, in some cases, it's almost like, I know you haven't done this, Jeff, but it's so close to the original in terms of the backing tracks. It's amazing, really.
I know. Well, the thing is, we are very much students of the band, and of course, Mick Jones plays like Mick Jones, so he's going to be Mick Jones no matter what he does. But the rest of us are all such students of those recordings, and we are such fans of those recordings that we just couldn't help ourselves. Mm-hmm. And part of the other thought is we wanted it to be. There had been talk that maybe we could even get some of these songs played on the radio, and that the closer they sound to the original might actually help that. So there was a little bit of thought to that, but most of it was just we wanted to honor it as best as we could. We wanted to modernize some of the sounds. The drum sounds are a little more modern, a little punchier, but for the most part, we wanted to stay true.
Now, we've played Waiting for a Girl Like You, and I think, as is the whole album, it's a showcase for the wonderful vocals of Kelly Hansen, who's really consolidated his position, I think, this year with the band. I should say, Jeff, we saw you on the Journey Styx tour in the UK in June, and I have to say your performance as part of that package was one of the highlights for me of the year. It was a marvellous gig.
Well, thank you. Which show did you see?
It was the one in Manchester.
Oh, fabulous! Yeah, I got to say we've had a really good response to this whole tour. We're very, very excited about how it's been working, and it's been fun, getting to play for the crowds that we're playing with, and getting to play for Journey's audience, and so it's been a lot of fun, and we're getting a great response, and we're really, really excited about that.
Now, Kelly, Jeff, he joined, I think, a year or so after you, around about 2005.
Joined in March of 2005.
March of 2005. Now, when did you personally realise that he was the singer for the band?
The day he came down to the audition. Actually, I've known Kelly for years. I knew Kelly in the 80s, and we were in, kind of, comrade bands, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I never realized how well he'd be able to sing this music until I heard him. When he came down, I heard a tape of him singing the stuff, and it was very, very impressive. But then when he came down and played, and you could see how effortless it was and how natural it was for him, there was no question. There was absolutely no question that this was the guy.
Well, I think he's certainly gone from strength to strength. In fact, the whole band has, really. And in personal terms, Jeff, it seems like you've had maybe 2 or 3 different lives. Success with Dokken, then Foreigner, and of course, not forgetting you contributed to Dio. How do you think the experiences in Dokken has helped in your musical journey, and what were the major highlights for you during that period, the 80s?
A lot of highlights. I mean, certainly one of the highlights was playing the Monsters of Rock tour in 1988, where we got to play stadiums, which was really fun. But I think the main thing Dokken was a great experience for me all the way around, because I got to kind of, if I wasn't actively producing on those records, I was certainly helping produce or co-produce or whatever, and a lot of times the band did much of the production ourselves. And so I got to learn a lot about production with that band, a lot. and we worked with some fabulous people: Michael Wagner, Neil Kernan, Roy Thomas Baker, Jeff Workman. I mean, a lot of great people that helped teach us a lot. So, I think I learned a lot, and plus performing. I mean, Dokken did all those shows in the 80s and 90s, and I got to learn a lot about performing, especially in big places. And performing in big places it's an art into itself, and it's a whole different vibe. To me, it's the ultimate for rock music. When you get into an arena, and that's when rock music really turns into what it should be. And performing it is such a high when you're at that point, but you do have to know how to do it, and Dokken gave me an opportunity to learn how to do that.
And finally, Jeff, what about your own musical aspirations? You've had great success, as we've mentioned, with 2 major bands, really, the last 30 years or so. Is there anything else you'd like to achieve personally in music?
Well, there's always that. I'd love to write that classic song. There's that. I don't know if the forum is there for that much anymore, but for me anymore, it's all about just playing great music. And if I could be in a great band playing great music, or even recording on my own making great music, I'm very, very happy. The aspirations aren't as grand as they were when I was younger. It's more about just day to day what musically gets me off. And right now I know I'm in a great band that makes great music every night, and when we go to record, we make great music. So I that's a great starting point. I'm probably going to do something with George Lynch coming up soon. We're probably going to we've written together, and we're going to try and figure out a way to record that and bring that out. So just like I say, for me, it's day to day. What great music can I make, and how can I make it?
I think we should say to listeners also that I was going back through the certainly the Dokken back catalogue, and nearly all those songs are co-writes, aren't they? Your name is there. It wasn't just one person.
It was certainly a good writing situation for us. That's for sure.
Yes. Well, look, Jeff, thanks for your time talking to Get Ready to Rock, and all the very best with your own career, and also, of course, with Foreigner and the new CD, Acoustic, and more.
Well, thank you so much, man. It's been a real pleasure, David, and I really hope people get to enjoy the new CD as much as we have.